Hello and welcome back to the Rose City Rollers knitting tutorial. We are in the process of doing the heel. So we've done the heel flap, the heel turn, we've picked up the stitches and we're in the right place to start doing the gusset. So I would recommend you don't look at the gusset instructions because they make it seem very complicated, whereas it's not on 9-inch needles. So I have put below the two, there's literally just 2 rows that you need to keep repeating. So I have put those in a simple form for what we need down below. So please follow those and don't confuse yourself with the gusset instructions on the pattern. So we have got our stitch marker at the beginning before we go across the top of the foot. We also need to have another stitch marker. I suggest you have a different one so then you know where you are. This is the beginning of your row that we have here. This is to signify where the next decrease will be. So let's start the first row. So all we're going to do to start with is knit across until we get to the marker. Well, sorry, we haven't got the marker yet, Tina. I know, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you are doing the small size, you need to knit 28. If you're knitting the medium size, it's 32. If you're knitting the large size, it's 36. But it's basically half the stitches that you started with. So I'm doing a 64 stitch sock, so I'm doing 32 stitches across, because these stitches along the top aren't going to change. We're not going to have any decreases in this top section. So if you get confused and you think, am I supposed to be decreasing? If it's in this top section, no. All the decreases are going to be below the markers down the side of the foot, because that's where we picked up these stitches, and now we've got to remove those stitches. So we go back in like a triangle back to the original count of what we had, because the foot stitches are going to be the same as your cast on stitches. So we're just knitting across. As I say, I'm doing the 32. It just saves counting every time. So then this becomes something you can do while you're watching TV, or floss tube, or knitting podcasts, whatever you choose to do. How many stitches have I got? Five. I think this curling up, it does get in your way a little bit, doesn't it? So I've got my 32 stitches, so I'm going to put my needle marker in there, my stitch marker in there, and then we're going to, so if we were doing this on the next round, we'd just be slipping that marker and then knit 1 past the marker and then slip, slip, knit. So that's slip, slip, and knit those 2 together. I hope you can see because it's all in front of it, but we're doing slip, slip, knit anyway, so you know how to do those. And then knit round to 3 before the next marker, which is the beginner marker that we started with around the other side. And that is as hard as this bit gets. So we're just doing, decreasing 1 stitch each side of the sock, as I say, so we end up getting that triangle, so the stitches just reduce down. So nice and easy. And then we'll have the longest part of the sock when we've finished that, is going along the main part of the foot. So it doesn't make for a very exciting video, I'm afraid. It's mainly just knit. As I say, if you looked at those instructions, you might have been scratching your head, because I must admit I did for a moment. It's just about, when you do try and convert the patterns, it's just about thinking about what they're doing. Just think of it as a circle and what they're doing, and then what you need to do. So we need to be 3 stitches before the marker. You need to just knit 2 together, knit the next one, slide the marker over, and then you can just carry on the next row. Row 2 is a knit row, so we're just going to go all the way around to the beginner marker again. So just knitting all the way around. And that's all there is to it. So we're going to do row 1 is the decrease row, where we just decrease at this first marker that we're coming up to now, after the marker, and then we go round to the beginning of the row marker and we do a decrease before the marker. As I say, the instructions are underneath, so you can copy them down. I would recommend that you mark down if you're on row 1 or 2, so you know if you're on a decrease row or just a knit row. As I say, I can get confused if you're watching TV and you're knitting along. You think, am I supposed to be decreasing in this row or not? So yeah, just keep it's up to you how technical you want to be. I just have a bit of paper and a pencil. Keep it simple, stupid, that's what I say. So yeah, I don't think I need to do it again with you, because it's all things we've done before. As I say, it's just when you come up to those markers, you need to be thinking, is it a decrease or not? But write it down and you'll be fine. So that's it. So you keep on going, decreasing until you get back down to your cast on number, which for me is 64, and then you're just going to knit round until you get to the toes. So I just have a look to see if they tell you how far from your toes you need to be. Okay, so it recommends that you stop 2 inches shorter than your longest toe. So you need to just keep on knitting round when you get back to your 64 stitches until, if you measure your foot, 2 inches shorter, that's where we're going to start doing the toe decreases. We are going to do, they've got two options. We're going to do the square toe. The reason I have chosen the square toe is because of doing it on those miniature circulars. It does get very tight doing magic loop for those last few. The square toe just gives us a couple more stitches to play with before we actually do the Kitchener stitch. So I just think that's going to be more comfortable to do. So that's what we shall be doing. So yeah, just need to carry on. As I've got this far, I might as well just talk you through this part. So we're just on row 2, and so that's just a straight knit row. So I'm coming up to the beginner marker. The last row we did decreases here, so this row we're not. So just slip that marker, and then I'm going to be, now I'm on the decrease row, which is row 1 again, and I'm going to knit straight across until I get to that other marker, and then I'm going to do the decreases after the marker. So that is it. So I shall leave that with you, and I shall see you back here for the toes. I'm trying to angle it so I can do a good thumbnail for the picture, because I always struggle, because a sock in when you're knitting it doesn't look too good on camera, and so I always struggle with actually having a little shot to put as a thumbnail. So sorry about all this twisting and turning, but that is why I'm doing it. So thank you for joining me. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I shall see you for the toe decreases soon. Bye for now.